if anyone else has ever had this happen before. So I saw Tabsy's video today about the Cancer Society article, and I didn't know if it was an article from back in the day, because I do believe I have one from back in the day, or if it was a more recent article. And so, waiting for her to get back to me, I went to Google and I searched this National Cancer Society Gypsy Rose, and it gave me this whole thing. Pause to read more. This is me telling it that it's incorrect information and we have proof. This is it basically using that real information to try to refute me back with more misinformation from the murderer herself and her legal team. Fantastic work here, Google. You're doing great. Hey, there's no proof in any medical file that Gypsy ever had leukemia or any other form of cancer. That's really funny, considering that it's on every single page, and there's all kinds of proof of all of the alleged false um, medical conditions. It even goes on to mention me in here. This is crazy because it talks about my lawsuit and I'm the blogger that did this. Like, it's insane, man. Insane. Keep reading. Online Truth or Theories. Office focus on the real 1Q21.1 diagnosis to argue that Gypsy lied about her abuse. But the courts, medical examiners, and public case records thoroughly documented the bulk of her severe diagnoses were entirely fraudulent. Except that they aren't, Google. They're not.
Yes, they are.
Not review them, and they only had about 150 of her medical files, and they did not review them. And Mike Stanfield never turned them over to the DA, and we have proof of that communication between the DA and Mike Stanfield. Google, you need to get your head straight. So I tried to tell it, I'm the blogger that you're talking about that has the medical information, and this is a lie. And it basically went on to chastise me. It gets real interesting here in a second. Here's more. Again, pause to read. Here it is. It's talking about me now. This is fun. A failed business partnership. The blogger leaked portions of Gypsy's confidential childhood medical files. Certain internet commentators selected and shared documents showing diagnoses written down by doctors. However, investigators noted that these diagnoses were simply entered into charts because Dee Dee lied about Gypsy's history or used topical numbing agents like Oragel to fake physical symptoms during examinations. Except none of that is true. None of that is true, and it is proven by her medical records. There were lab tests, not tons and tons and tons and tons of them. There were diagnoses, there were visits, doctor visits, there were procedures. This is such bullshit, Google. I can't even with you right now. And to mention me, but not by name, but mention me as the reasoning is hilarious to me, because it is the reasoning that all of this is false. Completely 100% false. I proved that. Me, Google, me. This was a good one. I really like this. Regardless of who you are, what documents you hold, the legal, medical, and historical records of this case is closed and fully verified. The complete investigation file, including every medical record seized by law enforcement from multiple hospital networks, one hospital network, was thoroughly examined by state prosecutors. Nope, not at all. Not one time. Not even a little bit. Not even a tiny bit. Not kind of. Not halfway pregnant. Nope, not at all. 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 So keep going. Pause to read. More bull crap. Here's more. And then...
Have a seat. I told you that I don't need to be described to you to call your ugly butt out. I think I'm proving that now. Let's talk about Gypsy's medical records. Honey, you only have a few of them. You only have a few. There's over, they're right, there's over 1,000. Do you realize Bree has her records? You have very little of them. You don't have all her records like you try to claim. You don't. Everything that Google said about you is absolutely true. All those statements, they are true. You don't like it because it shows that you are a liar. Gypsy never had cancer. She never had any form of cancer. Okay? You put out what little, and you were the one who started it. Have you forgotten? They hired your ugly ass. You didn't do what you were supposed to do, and they fired you. And ever since then, you've been on a rampage. That's how you got the few medical records. They didn't give them to you all, and you were supposed to give them back. That would have been the ethical thing to do, but you're not ethical. You weren't ethical when you were a bridesmaid consultant. And you were sued by Gypsy, and they didn't lose the case. They just filed in the wrong area. And then to top it all off, you tried to say that you were kidnapped. You got a warrant that they can't extradite, but you can't go back in that state because you'll be arrested. Have you forgotten that? Because that's the truth. You were the one who started all this hate train on Gypsy. And you're pissed off because Google put the truth out, and you don't like it. You are a joke. You don't like it, so therefore they're wrong. If anybody has a different opinion than you, they're wrong. Because you're so fucking right. You're a liar. And honey, my next video is to go to your YouTube and prove that you were the one who called Audrey, not that I like her, because I know the truth too. I knew all about that. But see, I'm better than you. I don't put children or their situations out there. That's why you won't see it on my TikTok or my YouTube. Keep me blocked, because this is going on my YouTube, so you will see it. You are a liar. You're a nasty person. And that's a fact. So quit saying you got all her medical records, because you don't. You only got the few that she sent to you. And it's amazing, you talk about her medical records, but you never show the results of them. That she didn't have it. And do you know there are cases of much, and they usually don't survive? So yeah, doctors do lie. Doctors do procedures that are uncalled for. It happens all the time. You leave out the fact that she was doctor hopping because other ethical doctors weren't buying it. You ignore the fact that one doctor even stated that he believed that Dee Dee suffered from, I can't pronounce it right, but well, you know what I mean. It's just they usually don't survive. Gypsy was lucky she survived, because Dee Dee would have unlived her with all these unnecessary treatments that she doctor hopped till she found a doctor who would believe her, because she lied and said, oh, I can't provide those medical records because they got lost in the hurricane or whatever it was. So they were taking her word, and they were thinking about this. Why is it? Explain that. Why is it? They said, oh, well, she needs a feeding tube. So they put this feeding tube in, but miraculously, when she was arrested, they immediately took it out. Not only was Gypsy able to eat, she gained weight, and she still eats. So how do you explain that?